This Bill Belichick thing is just getting weirder and weirder, guys. Like, it's legal. They're adults. She had a 65-year-old boyfriend before this. We're talking about Jordon Hudson. But
Really?
I think the nation, huh?
I didn't know about that.
Yes. So this is not her first rodeo here. And she's only 24. So she was dating when she was like 22. And we still don't know like some of the details behind it, how these two crazy kids got together. And Bill Belichick was being interviewed for CBS Sunday Morning to talk about his new book, being, Football Genius or whatever. I will read it because I'm a huge Bill Belichick fan. But this is good journalism in 2025. They're trying to get to the bottom of this. And we get the most awkward 30 seconds in Bill Belichick's entire life.
Jordon was a constant presence during our interview.
You have Jordon right over there. Everybody in the world seems to be following this relationship. They've got an opinion about your private life. It's got nothing to do with them, but they're invested in it. How do you deal with that?
Never been too worried about what everybody else thinks. Just try to do what I feel like is best for me and what's right.
How did you guys meet?
Not talking about this.
No?
No.
It's a topic neither one of them is comfortable commenting on.
That fucking stare. Did you see that shit?
Mm-hmm.
That is a death stare right there. Like, in the purest sense.
No, it is. Well, so it led to some conversations amongst us during the Pete Souza show.
Okay. Which also on Rogue Media.
On the Rogue Media Sports Network from 10 to 11 Central, or I guess 11 to noon Eastern time.
Hey, you got it.
I went to Riesel. I know times. So that's a joke that just Cam gets. So, but I look at that and I would think that given her role, you would have to expect that you're going to be asked that question, or at least something there. And not having even a prepared statement of if you didn't want to talk about it, of not just like, oh, we'll talk about that when we're ready to, or it's just like, oh, we choose not to talk about it.
Yeah.
You can do that and deflect and be fine. But it was the stare. It was the almost being like caught off guard. And I get it. I guess if somebody wants to argue about like, well, this was going to be a puff piece. She didn't think that she was going to have to be like, no, I don't want to, answer those questions.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you would have to assume that if you're letting somebody in to talk to you about your relationship with Bill Belichick or about his job at North Carolina, and there's going to be questions about you, that might be something that comes up. You have it in you, even before, if y'all were there, if you didn't want them to be like, before the interview started, hey, we're cool with anything. Just if you don't mind, we'd like not to talk about that. And then if they bring it up again, then CBS Sunday Morning's the dicks. They're the ones that aren't, but you kind of doing that there. It's just, it seemed like, again, it makes it seem like there's something else there. Like, why'd you poke that? It's like a bruise or a scab or something like,
There's so much I'm taking from this too. I mean, for one thing, why does she need to control what he's being asked, in the sense that there's been no one better in history at answering questions without an answer than Bill Belichick? Nobody ever has been in the spotlight for 30 years now and not answered questions like Bill Belichick has. And he was ready to go. He had something up his sleeve. The other thing is like, this is CBS Sunday morning. I know this is not the 1960s, but CBS Sunday Morning, like, this is a big deal still. This is a big kind of spot. And, you've got producers and reporters there, and you've got a 24-year-old telling you what you can and can't talk about. It's just an odd place to be. I understand it journalistically. I'm not trying to call out the reporter for that. It's just an odd place to be. And the other thing is, now we want to know, how did they meet? Why is this some big secret? I can understand not wanting to talk about your relationship too much, but that's an easy question if it's not weird. Oh, we had some mutual friends. We got set up by some friends. Who are those friends? I'm not telling you who that is. You don't need to know that. But seriously, that makes me start to lean towards like escort territory. Like, was this a one night payment plan that turned into something more? This is where I'm like, what are we trying to hide here? And why does Bill Belichick need a 24-year-old to control his life? Why does he need a Lady Macbeth? That stare at the end there. We've all been in contact with some crazy ladies. Let's just put it that way.
Even after
That was beyond that. That was more than that.
Yeah, I didn't mean to cut you off and all that, but it's just like it's even after. It's just the stare after too. Like that's you ever know where like you've been in trouble and it's like, oh, I effed up.
Yeah.
And it's because it's just quiet after and the stare still lingers. Like that stare is lingering there. And so that's what adds to it then too. It's not just like a little, oh, we don't want to talk about it because something there, it's like, we don't want to talk about it.
And
Or
I think
it's weird, right? I mean,
and I think we need to emphasize the context here. Not only is this man in his 70s, Bill Belichick, but we're talking about this is the greatest football coach in the history of Earth. This is the most accomplished football coach ever. And he's being told what he can and can't say by someone who's younger than me, who can't even rent a car on her own. Like,
yeah, she will hear soon.
That's fucking crazy. That's crazy. This is a guy I completely idolized growing up. I lived my life by some of his teachings, by the way he ran football teams. And he's like a puppet for a grad student. Like, what are we fucking doing here? This is gonna create some more waves in this story, but this is insane, man. Like, we can't get over that first hump. That they're not the 50-year age difference. It's weird. It's creepy. It's legal, but it's creepy. But the fact that she is now not only a 50-year age difference, this is not a trophy wife. This is being controlled. This is like the real Bill Belichick died a year ago, and someone's wearing the skin suit, and Jordon Hudson has her hand up his ass, controlling whatever he's saying. It's fucking bizarre beyond belief. And I can't tell you the last time we saw something quite this weird by someone of this great a stature in the NFL. Like, you know what I mean? I can't, it's very, 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 quite often we'll see, especially, real prickly guys like Bill Belichick can be in their later years. It's their kids that, for better or for worse, will trot them out there. Right. We saw this recently on Celtic City. Bill Russell's daughter, him to go back to Boston, hang out with the Celtics and with Red. And that really did a lot of good things for Bill Russell's legacy and for obviously the city of Boston. On the flip side, John Henry Williams would wheel out Ted, and Ted couldn't even see. And he's just signing autographs for hours and hours at a time. He's got all this arthritis. He could barely see it. And John Henry Williams is just making a good buck off it, right? Yeah. And when Ted Williams goes out in the All-Star game in 99, he's not wearing a Red Sox hat. He's wearing a hitter.com hat, which is the website that John Henry Williams set up for Ted. So you can see it both ways. And that's for the kids. This is a 24-year-old girlfriend. Maybe I'm wrong, Zach. I can't remember the last time I've seen something like this. This is unfathomable for someone who grew up idolizing Bill Belichick and his kingdom. It's
yeah.
crazy.
No, it is crazy. I've been working on getting my favorite clip that wasn't that I thought you were going to get to in there too.
There's a couple things I left on the cutting room floor. I just thought that was the important 30 seconds.
Yeah, no, for sure. And it's one of those things of where you kind of bring up, talking about Ted Williams, which is a great, I think, comparison there of this. I don't think that obviously Bill is anywhere to that point. I like, because what you're talking about there, and what I would think that when people talk about this in a way, it's elderly abuse in a way. And I think of, I'm going to get very nerdy for a second, but I host a comic book podcast.
Yes.
And in the world of comic books, there's a guy who was there's a guy who was a very big name that a lot of people who aren't familiar with comic books know, and that is Stan Lee. And that was one of the things when he got older in life too, he had a caretaker, and it was the same thing of where at these conventions and at these,
put him at the Comic
Con,
Cons.
I do that exactly.
Yep.
And it's one of those of where people just take advantage of the situation that they
go
YouTube
in. Search Frankie Valli's concerts in 2025. You'll see exactly what we're talking about there.
So here's the thing though. I don't think Bill Belichick, his facilities are anywhere near that point though. Like you talk about
he's coaching a Division I team.
Exactly. So we can't call it that. It's not that. This is all, whatever happens from this, it's all on Bill Belichick.
It's crazy. And by the way, you wouldn't know what Division I football team he's coaching because they're both wearing Navy stuff.
Yeah,
I'd be kind of
Virginia, right?
Virginia,
right? Based off the colors.
Yeah, it was Navy, but yeah.
Doesn't Virginia have Navy?
We said it's Naval Academy, Zach. It says Navy.
Oh, I thought you meant the color Navy.
They're both wearing Navy stuff.
Oh,
Bubba Cunningham's got to be pissed about that. But I don't know, man. We're running out on time, but we're going to see more of this. And I texted Pete because I was on Pete's show the other day talking about this for like a sentence. And I said,
by the way.
I said, when we get to football, I don't care what Pete says. When we get to football season, this is going to go away. Like Belichick's going to be in football mode and nothing stops him from football mode, right? His kids didn't, his first wife didn't, his second girlfriend didn't. Like that's just not going to happen. I texted Pete after this video came out and I said, I don't know if he's got this under control. This is going to get worse. Do you have that clip? You want to play that one clip before we go?
I wanted to. I think this is going to be it. It's longer than I thought it was, but I'll go ahead and throw this one up then if you don't mind real quick.
Let's do it.
Though Hudson has recently posted about it on Instagram.
You joined InstaFace, as you put it. I love that. There's some great pictures of you and Jordan where you're a fisherman and she's a mermaid. It's charming. It's a different side of you. What's the reaction been like?
What's it been like?
To have these different sort of photos. There's another one where you're doing, I know you're not into meditation or yoga or Pilates. You're balancing Jordan on your feet and she's doing kind of the Titanic pose.
Yeah, so I'm on some of those social media platforms, but I honestly don't follow them.
Yeah.
That's my favorite part of it. Because honestly,
that does bring up a greater point too of like, you're putting this out there. Like everyone in the world knows that this is a relationship because of Jordan, not because of Bill. And so that's where being a 24-year-old, as much whatever fucking PR experience you have, you don't get this. Like when you put that shit out there, of course we're going to ask questions about. Of course we are.
But that to me is just honestly, that is a very Bill Belichick answer. I feel like at the end, oddly enough, of like, I'm on there, but I don't know. But that is one of those things then it then feels of like, hey, we took these pictures, and he honestly has no clue what's being posted out there.
And if I'm the reporter, by the way, I think a good follow-up, he says, what was the reaction? I would say, yeah, like, how does your family react to this? How do your kids who are, almost twice the age of her, 10, 12 years older than her, how do they react to this? How does your ex-wife react to this? How do the people around you, how's Mike Lombardi react to this?
Again, obviously, Bill is a grown man who can live his life however he wants to, and he should not heed any advice to what I have to say at all. But if it were me and I were Bill in this, and the situations were all the same, I would prefer just to keep it low key and kind of keep it not on CBS Sunday morning, and then I don't have to worry about people questioning what's going on.
She's putting him out there. She's putting him on Instagram. She's miking him up at practices. She absolutely had something to do with this interview because all the interview requests are CC'd to Jordon Hudson. It's a mess, man. The Lady Macbeth of Tobacco Road.
That is a solid nickname, though.
They used to call Hillary the Lady Macbeth of Little Rock. That flowed a little bit better.
Well,
but it's crazy. And this is not going away. Last thought. This is not going away.
No. This is you hit the nail right on the head. This is going to be something, and kind of the reason that I'm a little more upset that North Carolina is not doing like the Hard Knocks version of the show, because this is definitely leaking into the season somehow. I don't know when, I don't know where, and I don't know how, but we have not, like, this isn't going to be something that once, in August, everybody's there for workouts, that's going to stop. And this is going to turn back into like Belichick coaching the Patriots. He might think it is, or like everybody might think it is, but it doesn't feel right now that that's how it's going to be. Like, this is just the beginning. We're going to see something else happen.
That's Zach Burke. I'm Kim Stewart. It's the Cam Show, live on YouTube every weekday, high noon Eastern time, and then available wherever you get your podcasts. Like the video, Subscribe to the channel, helps us out a lot. We're on the march towards 4,000 subscribers, and only about 10% of you that are watching are actually subscribed. So hit that subscribe button. We're bringing you nothing but Boston sports content 5 days a week. Check out the other videos on the channel here. Again, Cam Stewart, Zach Burke. We'll see you tomorrow on a little ditty that we like to call The Cam Show.